Talk about your 2-hour lunch. I'm lucky to get 3 sips of coffee on my schedule.
You know, if it wasn't for the Whammo salad bar, I would have withered away by now. Not to mention my husband and my kids. I mean, this will be the 3rd night this week that I am bringing home dinner from Fanconi's.
Oh,
you know, they've got the great pastas, soups,
Yeah, it's the
all that
same
stuff.
thing at my house. You know, these hours are unreal. You know, by the way, Steve, this coffee cup you're drinking out of is destroying the ozone
don't
layer.
start.
I read that they make these cups out of the CFCs. You know, they're banned in some cities now.
Well, some states are considering laws against all disposables. Yeah, because they take up too much room in the landfills. But it's because of the garbage crisis, not the CFCs.
Oh, that'll be the day when they start serving Whammo burgers on fine china. And by the way, it's not just the cups that are using up all the landfills. It's the paper napkins and things like my French fry container. How about these plastic forks and straw wrappers? I mean, must be half the stuff in those landfills come from fast food disposables.
Yeah, remember that garbage barge? Remember the one that was floating around for months until someone finally let it unload? I think things are getting out of hand.
They tried to put a new landfill in our town.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm out there with my neighbors
you're
with
out there.
picket signs.
That's a great
Yes.
image, right?
No, who wants a landfill? I mean, the trucks, the smell.
Yeah, well, did you know that you make about 3.5 pounds of garbage a day?
No.
Sure, everybody does. Every man, woman, and child. Now, our town, they're going to get rid of the old landfill. I mean, it's not even filled up yet, but they found out that the rainwater going through it was polluting the river. Come to think of it, I think that your city would be a dandy spot for a new landfill.
Oh, I agree. That's my vote.
Oh, there's so much misinformation. Look, I've got to talk fast. He finishes the coffee, I'm history. I'm a polystyrene foam cup. Everybody loves me, or used to anyway, because I keep stuff hot. You don't burn your hand on me, and I keep cold stuff cold. No sweat. I get the job done. Lately, I'm controversial. You heard them, CFCs, landfills running out of room. I'm becoming an outlaw. One misconception after the next. Well, while I've got the time, and since this is the magic of television, I'd like to tell you my side of the story. First, there are no CFCs in me. I'm made by Scott Worldwide Foodservice. They never ever used CFCs. And the garbage crisis, plastic foam food packaging is less than 2% of what's in landfills. So why the controversy? Listen to them.
They just have to make more things biodegradable. I mean, if your cup were biodegradable, it would go into the landfill and disappear naturally. That's the answer to the landfills filling up.
Okay. I'm not biodegradable. I'm not gonna fall apart over this. That's why I'm safe in a landfill. I'm inert. I can't pollute. But nothing really degrades in a landfill anyway. Here. Listen to the leading expert, Dr. William Rathje from the University of Arizona.
The most important thing about a landfill is the fact that what we think is going on in a landfill and what is actually going on in a landfill are two very different things. We have sort of a compost theory in our heads. You know, you bury this stuff in the ground, and then the organics, the food remains, the yard waste, the paper, degrades. And then maybe the land settles, and you can use it again for more garbage. And the degrading process occurs very quickly, a few weeks, a few months, maybe a couple of years. That's the theory. In actual practice, what we find is that practically nothing decomposes in a landfill. We find T-bone steaks with the lean and the fat. We find hot dogs from 1972, been in a landfill for 16 years. We find newspapers in huge quantities all the way back to 1970, and that's as far as we've dug right now.
Properly engineered and managed landfills will always be a part of the solution to the solid waste problem. But don't be fooled by the notion that if something says biodegradable, it will disappear in a landfill. There is a way to make garbage disappear. It's called source reduction. If less material goes into the things we throw out, there will be less garbage. Source reduction means eliminating waste at the manufacturing source in both products and their packaging. For example, today's aluminum can uses a lot less aluminum than the can of 10 years ago. Uh-oh. Excuse me.
That we've just become lazy. What's happened to the home-cooked meal? What's wrong with washing a few dishes? It's better than creating tons of garbage from takeout, right?
Fast-paced jobs, double-income households. We're talking lifestyles that demand flexibility and convenience. Hey, let's face it, there's less cooking going on in America's kitchens. That's why the takeout industry is growing at a rate of over 12% a year. But just as the takeout industry depends on disposables like me, home cooking depends on dishes and dishwashing. There are environmental trade-offs here. I happen to have a chart. A commercial dishwasher uses a gallon of fresh water to clean just 5 dishes, a gallon of fresh water to clean just 10 glasses. We disposables can save 71 gallons of fresh water a day for every 100 customers served in a restaurant. And washing requires using detergents, which contribute to water pollution. And the water has to be heated with energy. Speaking of energy, the average single fast food meal uses 23% less energy than the home-cooked meal. Okay, I add to the immediate waste volume. Like I say, he finishes that coffee, I'm history. But compare me to reusables. The fresh water use, water pollution from detergents, the energy used in manufacturing, the energy to heat hot water and run dishwashing equipment, and the spread of germs from unsanitary reusable ware. And uh-oh, here we go again.
At least you can recycle glass and paper and aluminum cans. I guess that's why these cups don't make any sense. All you can do is just throw them out.
Human behavior. I don't want to be buried in landfills. There's plenty of life left in me. Separate me. Recycle me. At the risk of getting philosophical, I can come back in another life. Plenty of plastic is being recycled. Last year, 600 million pounds. There's a new corporation called the National Polystyrene Recycling Company. Here, let me show you what they're doing. Right now, they operate a recycling plant in Leominster, Massachusetts that can process up to 3 million pounds of polystyrene a year. And there are 4 more plants that will be in operation around the country in 1990. The NPRC goal is to recycle 25% of all disposable polystyrene products by 1995. Right now, the market value per pound of recycled plastic is second only to aluminum. And the range of products that can be made from recycled plastic is growing every day. I can be a park bench, landscape and deck lumber, a parking curb, foam board insulation. Even parts of the video cassette you're watching right now are made from recycled polystyrene, a good chunk of which is made from my grandpa Eugene. Of course, to recycle me, you can't just throw me out with everything else. You've got to have separation and collection programs. That goes for paper, glass, aluminum, and plastic foam. Scott Worldwide Foodservice is working to create a collection system to provide the NPRC recycling facilities with a steady supply of polystyrene.
I guess a landfill would be better than an incinerator belching smoke and toxic fumes.
This is delightful lunch conversation. Look, Steve, finish that coffee. We have to get moving. It's time. I don't want to be late for the office, okay?
A few sips from now, and I'm a goner. But there is one more thing you ought to know. I'm already a recycled product because the petroleum industry used to burn off the byproduct gases I'm made of. That's why only 2% of the world's production of crude oil is diverted to make plastics. I have very high energy content, almost twice as much as low sulfur coal. So if I don't get recycled, at least you ought to think about using me as fuel for electricity or for making industrial steam. That means trash to energy programs, not polluting incinerators, but facilities that burn trash efficiently at high temperatures. There are already 120 such plants, with 93 more under construction, so that by 1992, more than a quarter of the nation's waste will be used for energy. That's the way they do it in Japan, too. Look. Trash is separated at waste centers for recycling. Repeated steps isolate recyclables. As a result, Japan recycles nearly 50% from the waste stream. The remainder, including plastics, is burned uniformly. The extremely high temperatures, generated in part from the high BTU content of plastics, heat water in the walls of the incinerator to create steam for electricity and industry. A system of scrubbers removes harmful gases and precipitators prevent release of airborne solids. The residual ash from combustion is disposed in a landfill at just a fraction of its original volume. Plant emissions are 99% carbon dioxide and water vapor. At the street level, passers-by can easily operate a digital monitor that tells you the chemical makeup of these emissions in parts per million. So now you have my story. I keep stuff hot. I keep stuff cold. Your fast-paced lifestyle requires disposables like me. I'm sanitary. I'm safe in landfills. I don't have to use up fresh water that requires energy to heat and detergents which contribute to water pollution. I can be recycled into a growing number of useful products with a long life. I can provide energy with my high BTU content. So, next time you have a cup of coffee or a soda at the ball game, don't take me for granted, and don't say all those bad things about me in landfills. I don't want to go there either. Help! Hey, how about a refill, pal? One more for the road.
Hello, I'm Sharon Robbins, Vice President and General Manager of Scott Worldwide Foodservice. I want to thank you for taking time to learn more about today's mounting garbage crisis and what we believe are some of its solutions. As a manufacturer of disposable food service products, we not only have a responsibility to our customers, but to the world around us as well. That's why Scott Worldwide Foodservice is working to bring solutions to the solid waste problem and those specific issues associated with our food service products. We support the Environmental Protection Agency's integrated waste management program of source reduction, recycling, trash to energy, and properly engineered and managed landfills. For our part, we've taken an active role in developing recycling programs, as well as seeking effective ways to reduce packaging and other sources of waste. And in seeking solutions, we're committed to providing the very best products for your ever-changing needs. Garbage is everyone's problem. We encourage you to become involved in the solutions too. If you want further information or just wish to express your concerns, call us, toll-free, at 1-800-TEL-SCOTT.